Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the forecast for October 2024 for each life path number. This, of course, is a general forecast. If you would like your own personal numerology reading, please book some time with me. You can find my information in the description box below. Also, I want to mention that from here till the end of the year, the end of 2024, if you order a year ahead forecast in any of the readings where the year ahead forecast is included, I will throw in October, November, December of 2024, and you will also get the full year ahead for 2025. So normally it's just the 12 months ahead, but you're going to get some extra months if you book in 2024 for the year ahead forecast. The other thing I want to mention is I have opened up subscriptions to my website once more. If you're interested in getting news alerts and sort of having privy to the important information that you might miss here on YouTube or on my podcast, then I suggest just hopping on over to my website. Just give me your email address through subscribing, and I can share that information with you as things come up. I won't bombard you. I have respect for your time and your inbox, but I do have some big announcements coming in 2025, so you want to be sure you don't miss those. All right, I think that does it for the housekeeping. Let's get into the forecast. Life path number 8, you all are going to be working with the vibration of the 26-8 for October. So ultimately your own vibration of the 8, but also the influencing energy of the 26. So for you all relationships are highlighted now. So relationships are in the spotlight. So business, relationships, romantic relationships, friends, family, acquaintances, you name it. Any connection, relationship can be on the chopping block, or can be up for evaluation, or can be trying to show you something about yourself that you haven't been seeing through the feedback that other person is giving you. And so what I would say is one thing that you want to sort of pay attention to and not be too quick to dismiss this month is if someone is telling you about their experience with you, instead of getting defensive and saying, that's not like me, I don't do that, I don't think that, I don't, etc., pause and release your need for control over that situation and hear what the other person has to say. Doesn't mean that you have to buy into it, doesn't mean that you have to believe it, but there is validity in other people's experiences with us, even though it's moving through their filter. It's still an experience that they're having with us. And so there can be a lot that can be gained through the feedback that we receive from other people about us, right? And if we're only accepting the feedback that's good and positive and uplifting, then we're not really learning anything about ourselves and how we connect with others and how, and how others are experiencing, our actions and how we present ourselves. So a keynote for this month is to pay attention to and to truly be open to and listen to what others are trying to show you that you're not willing to see. Be open to that feedback, and then you get to decide what you do with that feedback. But getting defensive about it isn't going to solve anything other than it's just going to create divide between you and that other person. There is validity in other people's experiences with us. And if we're not open to hearing those, then, and we just cut off connections that, don't see us in our highest light 24/7, then we're going to really miss out on some really beautiful connections and some really beautiful opportunities to, enrich our own lives and greater self-discovery and greater self-awareness, etc. So I would say, and again, it doesn't mean that you have to buy into it or subscribe to it or believe it even, but be open to it, right? And just see what they have to say and see if you can kind of see where it might be stemming from your own actions. So I think that a lot of that could come up this month with those greater relationships. And it doesn't just have to be like romantic or close friends or family. It can really be anyone that comes into contact with us. The more that we can do that, not just when the energy is present, the more that we can be open to the feedback and really kind of explore that, the more that we can evolve and grow, and our connections can grow and evolve. If every time that someone tells us how they feel about us or in their experience with us, we get defensive, then we're not doing anything to heal that connection, to show up in a way that's healthy for all involved. And we're not doing anything for that equal exchange of energy. So what I would say is a big keynote for 8 energy, especially as you move through this life path and sort of, step into the higher vibration of it, is that element of control. There is that strong element of control with 8 energy. And you have to, in this journey, figure out how to manage that need for control, right? That need for dominance, that need for, to be able to control every aspect of the situation. And sometimes, without intention, you might be trying to control the other person, right? And so again, that's where I come back to that feedback that the other person is giving you is important to at least listen to, right? The other thing I would say about that though too, right, just to cover all the bases, is if someone is just constantly telling you negative things about you, that is not feedback, right? Feedback is when it's coming from someone who can not only see the positive in you, but can also express when things don't feel good in their experience with you. Do you know what I mean? So, I would say be cautious of the people who are constantly spewing negativity at you and beating you down and telling you that you're not, that you're worthless, blah, 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 blah. That's borderline abuse, if not full on abuse. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about are those people in your life who, the majority of the time things flow, they're great, it's beautiful. But they're also willing and able to give you that feedback that can be difficult to give, especially when the person's not willing to take it. Those are the people I'm saying be open to that feedback, because they really do have the best interest of you and that connection at heart. And so it's what we choose to do with it that will absolutely make the difference. Ultimately, though, this vibration is beautiful for connections, deeper connections, collaborations, contractual partnerships. So, you could see business relationships come in at this time, and same thing, collaboration is going to be key. So if you're going into those connections, having to be the dominant party or having to be the one in control, it's only going to last for so long. There really needs to be this equal exchange of energy. And this could be a really great opportunity to check in with yourself to see in your connections, is it an equal exchange of energy or is there an imbalance? And you'll know that because your healthy, happy connections, where everybody feels like they're getting enough out of those connections and everybody's bringing enough to the table and they're seen and they're heard, that's an equal exchange of energy. There's reciprocity there. But in those connections where there's someone's more heavy-handed than the other, or someone's more giving, the other's more taking, not an equal exchange of energy. So a lot of this could come up for review for you guys this month. So just be open to it is what I would suggest. The key is to not be too controlling or too stubborn, and a lot of healing can occur at this time if you allow it to, for both self and your connections. Now, you all got rooster energy for your animal wisdom message. And it's so funny because what ultimately comes through with rooster is communication, right? And not having to be the loudest in the room or the one who is the authority in the room necessarily when it comes to those deeper connections, but to make sure that, again, there's communication. And communication is not about debate. Communication is about, both people having the space and, the ability to be honest with the other person about how they feel, what they need, and their desires, and to not be, not to have the other person become defensive. So interesting energies for you all this month. But again, it doesn't all have to be that serious and that heavy. I think there could be some beautiful connections that come in for you this month that can really just take your business or your relationships or whatever to the next level. And that can be really, really beautiful and exciting and all the good things. So enjoy it. Hope it's a great one. Take care, 8s. Bye for now.